So first of all, Phil, I wonder if you could tell me a bit about what it means or what your role is as Director of Finance and whether you're a typical Director of Finance.
Difficult to say if there is such a thing as a typical Director of Finance. Beyond the basic professional competence, I think everyone has their own particular area that they are interested in. I happen to be very interested in the value proposition that helps organisations deliver what they can do. And particularly on the sustainability side, I do, in recent years, I've spent much more time getting involved with integrated reporting and integrated thinking, and that's moving away from thinking of finance as the only capital that matters in an organisation to a multiple capitals approach, including the impact on the environment. So you're starting to upweight what sustainability means rather than it being something that some people might regard as optional.
Okay, thank you. And in your capacity as Director of Finance, what are the key ingredients for presenting a successful business case to you?
It needs to be a very compelling proposition. I think it's important when somebody has a business case that they don't just think of it as a mechanical thing that has to be produced. It's not a template just to be filled out. At its core, somebody needs to be passionate about what they want to see as an outcome. It has to deliver significant value. And if somebody has that compelling vision, it's relatively easy then to describe the story about what good looks like, what value will be propagated as a result of this activity. So I encourage people to think about storytelling, encourage them to think about describing their vision of success and then helping them to articulate that properly.
Okay, great. And what are the sort of common pitfalls that people fall into when they're trying to get support from senior leaders like yourself?
A common pitfall, unfortunately, is assuming that yours is the only agenda item on the senior leaders' agenda. There are some fantastic ideas, some very passionate people I've met, but they can't describe it in a way that is sufficiently compelling to raise that item up the agenda. We are all very busy, we've all got lots of competing priorities, so it's important that the business case is articulated in a very clear way, and particularly it tells that story of how value will be created. There are some great models out there for doing that. The Sustainable Business Guide is one. The Business Model Canvas is another approach which I strongly recommend and we've used internally in the organisation, helping people to tell the story and convert their ideas into not just the non-financial but also the financial, so that you present an overall integrated case. Much easier to say yes to that.
Okay. And what about here at Edinburgh? From your perspective, how was the strategic business case made? What were the steps or the process that the sustainability team went through?
Well, I guess the first stage was getting a sustainability team in the first place. So it's only within the last 6 years that a separate sustainability team was set up. That was very successful. It's led by somebody who's very passionate about what he does. He's got a great track record, and that's important because to have credibility in marketing terms, if you're trying to get share of voice, there's a lot of things that people want to get to the top of the decision maker's pile, and so you need to have a case that is compelling. And the sustainability team have achieved that, and over the years they've become very adept at delivering business case propositions that are practical, that align to university strategy, that align to its mission and purpose, and are sensible. They're not wacky ideas, they are actually quite sensible.
What aspects work particularly well from your perspective?
I think having a clear view of what it is you're trying to get across is so important, and making it relevant. So moving away from something which sounds wonderful as an idea, but there's no obvious cause and effect link between delivery of that idea and how it will help the university's strategic positioning. It's really important that anybody trying to get leaders' attention understands what the organisation is trying to do. And from a sustainability point of view, it tends to be long term. The profile is rising all the time, but if we can get some evidence and then a good cause and effect link between where we are and where we want to be and the benefits for the university in future, it is much, much easier then for that idea to get traction.
Okay. And what did the sustainability team do or say to get your ear specifically as Director of Finance?
They're very persistent. They've got tremendous stamina. They're never put off by no, but they listen. So if there is an idea which comes forward that is not quite fully developed, they're very open to understanding what might make that better, how it might improve, and then going to find evidence and looking for other people to lobby and start to really get a sort of coalition behind that idea.
And it sounds like, from what you've described, they've made some great progress and some great achievements along the way. Did you observe any challenges that the sustainability team encountered, and how did they react or respond to those?
Yes, I think in the early days there was a bit of sort of highbrow, you must do this because it's the right thing to do, without explaining why it was relevant for the organisation, why it would dislodge somebody else's priority, why it would dislodge investment from one thing into what they were proposing. So the sense of, dare I call it, righteous indignation that you must do sustainability because it's the right thing is a waste of time. It just won't work. There are much better ways, fortunately, of presenting that idea, and over time the quality of the narrative, the quality of the explanation, the quality of the link between what needs to be done and why it will benefit us has become clearer and clearer. And now the social responsibility and sustainability division within the University of Edinburgh has a very high level of credibility, and the activities they talk about are beginning to get baked in to the way we think about all decision making, which is really powerful. It's a great destination to have reached.
And what was it, do you think, that helped the sustainability team make that narrative more sophisticated and more relevant?
I think it's to do with how you write, just period, how you write. Very often people who are very passionate about what they do are not as good at articulating concisely to busy people how you get the point across. So we've spent a lot of time in my own area in finance and helping people to learn to write properly, as opposed to just do numbers. And we've had people colleagues from the social responsibility team coming to those courses, so we all start to think the same way. We'll understand the same templates we use in business case development, in business case propositions, in how to write effectively. And that's very, very powerful. It's so basic, people just forget it, but it's very, very effective when done well.
Okay, thank you. And so, based on your experience in that of Edinburgh, what advice would you have for other sustainability professionals who are looking to have greater influence and engage more effectively at a senior level?
I think try and get the finance director on side. Because most organisations have a disproportionate emphasis just now to finance, starting to talk about pre-financial issues is a good way to get the Director of Finance engaged. If you're trying to get investment, which most organisations with departments who've got great ideas are trying to do, if you can demonstrate how your idea is going to impact positively the strategic direction of the university, then you're onto a winning streak. But then you need to find out the people that matter in the decision-making process, lobby them, use influence, continually check back, be resilient, and I think that type of effort will pay off in the long term.
Is there anything that sustainability professionals need to do or say when trying to engage with the Director of Finance that's different from other senior leaders, do you think?
I think one way of getting the Director of Finance's attention is indicate how you can increase net value. Just going to somebody and saying this is how you can spend more money, it won't get it, because there's quite a lot of people who do that. If you can demonstrate how an investment will lead to a net improvement in value, then you're getting on the right track.
Okay. Phil McNaull, thank you. It's been really interesting speaking to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.